Are you
What's the
going
reason?
to today's lecture? Sure.
Good afternoon. How are you all? Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon.
ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes. How are you all?
We are doing fine.
Okay, doing fine. Huh? I just present today we'll be actually covering units. First day we did first, second, and yesterday was third, fourth, fifth. And I'll just show you the slide presentation. But today's topic will be covered on travel regulations, then the mode of transport and all. Okay. So
Yes,
just give me a few minutes time. I'll just show the presentation. Okay, I'll just prepare.
no
I'll show
problem,
you
ma'am.
the. Okay, okay. Thank you.
No, we can't say anything. But and also your voice is somehow we can't hear you clearly.
Okay, just give me some time. Okay, I'll just show you the presentation. Okay, I'll just
Okay.
maybe that will be the reason. Like today's I just want to say that we will be discussing about travel regulations. So whenever like travelers visiting a different country, the travel regulations. Rules and regulations are there, which affect which sector directly or indirectly. And because tourist should be aware of the rules and the travel formalities which needs to be completed before undertaking on the travel. So all travelers are covered by the rules and regulations which are there in the country by the so the travelers usually have to go as per the rules and regulations. So that is the reason how travel regulations came and travel regulations are necessary for the security and travel regulations are necessary for the security of the country that is being visited. Is it audible? Disturbances are there or is it okay?
It is now audible.
It is audible or not?
Yes, it is audible. It
Okay,
is audible.
okay, 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 fine. So, in fact, I'll just show you the slide. Just give me 5-10 minutes. Before that, I would just like to let you know, this travel regulations are very important and they are very necessary for the security of the country that is being visited. Okay, so because they have to protect the country from the entry of illegal migrants are there, then there are terrorists are there, criminals are there, then explosive arms, then narcotics, drugs, weapons, arms are there. So you have to protect the country from the entry of these illegal migrants. One second, sir is calling me. So, there are certain formalities has to be completed before a tourist they can leave their country and enter another country. So, this is basically the interest of the tourist as well as the country they visited. I'll just show you the PPT. Just give me 5 minutes time, right? So, there are some formalities that has to be there, and those formalities are in the form of official documents and endorsements which needs to be procured well in advance. So what you have to do, you have to complete the necessary formalities in the form of obtaining a valid passport or getting a visa should be completed before finalizing other details of travel as this process is a time consuming and may take a couple of weeks also. So, as I was telling you, like without the proper documents, without the requisite documents like passport, visa, this is very important, and travel is not possible. I mean, within country it is fine enough, but if you wanted to travel outside the country, you need to have your passport, visa. So, which we'll be talking about in this today's class, and we also show you the PPT. When I talk about India, in India there is no restriction on Indian and foreign nationals. Suppose they want to visit any state in India, except for the border states, like Arunachal Pradesh and all these, and islands for which a special entry permit is required. But yes, we do need to have some travel formalities things which are very compulsory, while others are desirable. So for this, the travel agents are there, and usually they discuss the benefits of completing all formalities before the client starts on a trip. So before travel formalities needs to be completed before undertaking in travel abroad, which are which are like the passport is required, the visa is required, then there are some vaccinations are required, travel insurance is required, as well as the foreign exchange and restricted area permits is required. So these are things which is very necessary. So this travel formalities needs to be completed before undertaking in travel abroad, and that can be like passport, visa, then vaccinations, then your travel insurance, then foreign exchange, as well as restricted area permits. So tourists basically should be familiarized with custom regulations and what is the baggage that is to be allowed, the goods to be permitted, that permitted in the sense that can to be carried in their hand baggage and what has to be carried. Especially there are some restrictions on some, like you cannot carry a scissor, you cannot carry a needle, all this type of things, for safety pins and all to avoid. These are there in the security check. So these items are being prohibited. So you should be aware, like which all items have to be carried and which all items are not to be carried. Okay. I'll just show you the PPT. Just be there. Huh?
Ba mu ji tambayar ba balle mu ji ansa da ka bada.
Is the PPT visible?
Yes, the PPT is visible.
Yes, ma.
Is it visible? Is it okay? Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, okay, fine. I was talking about tourism regulations and all. Okay. When we talk about tourism regulations, I told you about tourism professionals must be aware of all those legal and quasi-legal regulations that concern tourism trade. Okay, so regulations affect tourism both directly as indirectly, but it should be known to the professions involved in this trade. So, who are the professions? Basically, they are the one who are the travel agents, the tour operators, because they are the one who are designing for the tourists to go abroad. So there should be a proper coordination has to be there when you go for this tourism regulations. Now, when we talk about inbound and outbound travel regulations, there is passport is required, visa is required, and there are some travel formalities which need to be completed before undertaking any travel abroad. So they can be like passport, the visas, and vaccinations. Compulsory vaccinations has to be there. Uh, Travel insurance has to be there, foreign exchange has to be there. Then there are the restricted area permits are also there. So tourists should be familiar with this custom regulations because even if you are a very you travel a lot, but for each and every country there are different regulations. So these regulations the tourists may not be knowing, but they have to take care of the travel agents. So it is very essential that the tourists should be familiar with the custom regulations, like what is the type of baggage to be allowed and the goods to be permitted to be carried in their hand baggage to avoid any offloading of items at the airport. Now, what are the different types of visas? Passport is it's all the same and all. But when you visit a country, you need the visa of that particular country. So there are different types of visas. Like you have the entry visa, you have the tourist visa, you have the business visa, you have the employment visa, you have a project visa, then you have a research visa, then you have a transit visa. Okay, so entry visa means suppose you wanted to for accompanying families of foreign nationals. So if you wanted to visit a country where your parents are stay, your maybe your parents are stay or your siblings are stay. So for that you may be needing an entry visa. Tourist visa is that you are visiting a country for for a tourism purpose. So that is known as tourism visa. Then you have a business visa, that is visiting a country for the business purposes. Then you have employment visa. Basically, highly skilled individuals are intending to take up employment. So that is known as employment visa. Suppose tomorrow you get employed in a country. So you have to take the employment, for suppose if you wanted to come up with a project and all. So you get they are known as some registration. You get a registration as you are an expatriate. Like you will be working for that. You will be working for a project in that particular country. Then you have a project visa, as I told you. Then you have a research visa tomorrow. If you are, suppose you are doing your degree in research, degree in tourism. Tomorrow you may be doing your masters in tourism. Then after that you may be doing your doctorate, on research. For the research purpose, you may visit a country. This should be on sponsorship or scholarship. So those visas, you have to pursue research for any particular field, and you wanted to go abroad, maybe to Germany or maybe to Denmark. So you need to have a research visa, and each visa, they has a particular period of time, like how long it is, that how long, I mean, you can stay. What is the duration of stay? Duration of stay is usually, for some it is cases 1 year, for some it is like 5 years. It's for different purposes. The duration of visa is being given. Then you have a transit visa. What do you mean by transit visa? Suppose you are, you stay in US and you are coming to India. So you are taking a flight. Suppose American Airlines, then you may be taking the Air India flight. So American Airlines, you come from India to Dubai. Okay, you from Dallas to Dubai. You come. Then in Dubai, you maybe have maybe the next flight, that is the transit flight, maybe is the next uh, 20 hours or something difference is there, or some 16 or something else. So what you can do, you can have a transit visa. You can travel to those countries which are passing. So since you will get down at Dubai, then you have a flight to India. So this transit period is for 16 hours or for maybe 20 hours. So you can utilize that time, and that is known as transit visa. Okay. So these are the different types of visas. Even more visas are coming up depending on the requirements and all. So this is, as I told you, there is student visa, there is missionaries visa, research visa, the sports visa. If you are coming to for some sports tourism or something, then you can also have a visa. Depending on the requirement, depending on your, the visas are also being prepared. Like yes, there is something called conference meetings. If you wanted to attend a convocation or something, conference or some meetings, then you can come for that. You can get a conference visa. Suppose if you are a journalist, you wanted to, cover some exhibitions or fairs or some, any cultural activities of a different country, then you get a journalist visa because you wanted to cover and you wanted to, have a, like, maybe you are a journalist, that's your profession, and you want to cover a particular program, which can be an exhibition or which can be a cultural festival. You can just have that, and you can later on, it is for your own purpose, so you can go on a journalist visa. Now, these are the few countries, I have just tried to take it. Like there's a country called Rwanda, you require a passport visa, as you require a passport as well as a visa. Now, passport in that case, like there are usually three types of passport. There's the ordinary passport, there's a service passport, there is diplomatic passport, and a visa can be like, entry visa, visitors or tourism visa, then it can be a student visa, then working visa, diplomatic visa, Then for some religious purposes, it can be a missionary or religious visa, and business visa, in international organization staff visa, technical cooperation staff visa, dependent visa. So these are the different types of visa as required as per the requirement. Now, this is also, first I've tried, since you all belong to Nigeria, four of you all are from Nigeria, one of you all is from Uganda. So I just tried to get some informations. Okay, suppose Botswana. Okay, so foreigners from these Commonwealth countries, there are around 54 Commonwealth countries which are not required to obtain visa for entering Botswana, except in cases where the Ministry of Labour and Ministry of Home Affairs has directed otherwise. Now take the case of Nigeria. As of January 2023, Nigerian passport holders they can travel visa free to 26 countries and territories. But there are a lot of countries, you need to know. For you, see nowadays, whenever whoever wanted to go to visit any destination for any particular purpose and all, they do a lot of research, they go to different sites, they collect informations, and of course, the travel agent is there to help them, right? So take the case of Uganda. Okay, all persons intending to travel to Uganda for a holiday, tourism, business, study visit, or medical are required to apply and obtain a visa online. So application should be filled at the following link. There is something link is also been given. Okay, now special permits. This is I've just taken the example of India. We have so many states and all, but visitors require who are to India they require special entry permit in the case if you want to visit border states. So these are the border states in the state means two states they are together. Okay, so that is if you wanted to border states, a few states which I have mentioned. So this required this permit, like special permit, is required, and this is maximum valid for a period of 50 days. It keeps on changing. That is the thing. So like these are like we have this. Union territories, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep. Then we have the state. These are the north states of our country, like Arunachal Pradesh, then Assam. Then we have the hill stations, Himachal Pradesh. Then there is other northeast states of Manipur, Nagaland, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura. So this is the eastern part of the country, West Bengal. So this permit is usually when you wanted to visit these states from one state to another. Visitors require a special entry permit, right? Now, I was telling you about the custom regulations. Custom regulations are very important in today's scenario because in the olden days, a trader was free to bring in goods and exchange them for local products, which he could take back to his country. So many countries, they formulated their own custom regulations due to the increasing number of travelers. Suppose it was seen that during the World War One and Two, there were a number of people who were crossing the national borders. So the custom checks became strict, obviously, because they were going from one country to another country. But however, this customs regulations, duty help the countries to earn revenue also at the same time. So that is what happened. The tourist was, they were treated like any other visitor by the custom authorities, even when his motive was not for trade, employment, or permanent stay. Because they were during the World War, they were going from one country to the another country. They had to shift or something. Their motive was not for trade, for business purpose, or for employment, but in the exchange, in the process, revenue was collected. So that is how the situation improved a little in the post-war period, but the tourists still had to undergo the customs checks and duties. So many countries even have now established their own individual custom regulations, and the regulations of each country can be obtained from custom regulations. And the regulations of each country can be obtained from the travel agents, information offices of governments, etc. Right. So these are some of the websites, duty-free regulations apply for India. I have just given you. You can later on try on this. You can just have just Google it, do some searching, then you can find some information. So, there's AGOA, like it is known as the African Growth and Opportunity Act. It provides duty-free treatment to goods of designated sub-Saharan African countries. I think there are around 49 sub-Saharan African countries. Exactly, I think 49 somewhere. Okay, so this program dates from 2000 and has the goal of promoting the economic growth through good governance and free markets. It covers non-textile as well as textile goods and was most recently reauthorized till September 30th, 2025. This is for your information. Okay. Now, when coming to, obviously, when you go from another country to another country, when you travel from one country to another country, there is exchange of currency, okay, which generates revenue for the country. So that is how the economic of a country is, I mean, that affects the economic growth of the country. Okay, so there are some economic regulations where currency is involved, like tourists are not allowed to bring or leave India with any local currency. So no restriction on the amount of foreign currency or travelers tax brought into India must declare anything above, US dollar 1000 or something. This keeps on changing a lot. When you are coming to India, you have to use our currency. You cannot use your currency. But yes, suppose if you are staying in a hotel, you can exchange your currency. There is also at the airport you can exchange your currency. There are various types of banks. I mean, Indian banks are there where you can change your currency. And for changing the currency, you need to have your passport details are mentioned, because every day, the rate is changing. Suppose today the rate is one US dollar is, suppose, for example, the currency of Nigeria is naira. Okay, so one naira is five. One Indian rupees is equal to 5.58 naira. So you have to exchange your currency and all. But that is what you can do at the airport and all. But usually, most of the currencies that are being exchanged in India, euro, dollars, these are usually plus pound. These are usually being exchanged at any your airports as well as the hotels. But you can also take the help of the travel agents. They can do the exchange. Now every day it varies. Okay. Now whatever the foreign exchange we earn from you, it goes to the Reserve Bank of India. So there is some formalities are there, forms are required to be filled up where your details are being there, details in the sense like your name, your country of origin, your passport, the passport number, your visa details, duration of stay in the country, and so on. Then signature has to be there, and there are usually three copies. One copy is being given to the guest or the tourist. The second copy is being sent to the Reserve Bank of India along with the currency that is being exchanged, and the third copy is being retained with the particular hotel or the travel agent or wherever you do the exchange. Okay. So yes, I've given some money changes also. Like in India, we have this Thomas Cook, Cox and Kings, etc. Muthoot Forex. So these are. So this is what happens. So it is you need to, and whenever you exchange the currency, the tourist also should have a copy of this, because it is very essential. And suppose and every day the rate is being changed, so it helps you that you are not being cheated. That helps you to know. Okay. Now these are the currencies and exchange rates. Some of the I have done, like in India, it's the currency is known as rupees. For Botswana, it's Botswana pula. For Rwanda, it's Rwanda franc. Then there are the exchange rates also. See, Indian rupees, 100 Indian rupees equals to 15.67 Botswana pula. The Indian 100 rupees equals to 137.23 Rwandan franc. And as I told you, 1 Indian rupees equals to 5.58 naira. Okay. Then yes, insurance. Two major travel risks are these are usually whenever you go abroad, you have there are risks are involved in that. So you may have some medical issues, or your baggage may be lost, or something. Your flight is being detained for some reason, and sometimes there are natural disasters may take place, like the flight crashes. So it is always been you are being advised to take the insurance unless and until. And moreover, if you visit, there are countries, like all the European countries, and all there, suppose for the medical facilities are very expensive, no? Just a minute. So in medical facilities are very expensive. So you have to ensure that, otherwise you'll find you're going abroad and for a holiday, and if you're not insured, then suppose you fall sick or something, then you have to lose your a lot of your pocket, whatever money you have, it's just goes away. So that is the reason why this insurance is being taken. You have to, whenever you go to any for abroad, for any foreign countries, you have to have the insurance. Okay. Then you have some income tax, like if a person not domiciled in India intends to stay in the country for more than 120 days, then an income tax clearance certificate is required for leaving the country. Okay, so this certificate can be produced from the foreign sections of income tax department. Then there is a foreign travel tax. Now, this tax has to be paid by international travelers from Indian airports for travel to all other countries as applicable, including infants not occupying the seat. Whenever like tourist taxes are, these are very small fees, but yes, you have to pay those fees. Usually, they are levied indirectly through accommodation providers or holiday companies, and also they are typically aimed at overnight visitors. So this is how the tourism taxes are. When you go to a restaurant and all, there are some service taxes are there. When you go to a restaurant, when you pay the bill, when you see the bill, you find some service taxes and GST is there. Then service taxes are there. Some taxes which you need to pay to the government. So similarly, when a foreigner, international traveler coming to India, they are not domiciled in India, but they are in India for a purpose, then they have to pay this income tax clearance certificate, provided they are working in India or they are on a project, and their duration of stay should be more than 120 days. Then health regulations. Okay, 1 minute. I just want to see your. Is it? Hope hope I am okay with you all. You are able to understand. Hmm. My
Yes,
video
ma'am. We
was
are
not.
with you.
Okay, okay, fine. ठीक है. Okay, just a minute. Because if I keep on going on saying, it becomes very monotonous. So I don't want something should be from your side also. Okay.
Yeah, we understand. We need to understand.
Mm-hmm. One sec. Uh, One second. So, vaccinations, okay. Nowadays, it is very essential, that you have, especially after this COVID, you need to have a certificate that you have taken the vaccination. So, see, diseases outbreaks and other acute public health risks are often unpredictable. You may not believe, because we didn't know about COVID, but the virus. We didn't know about the virus, but how people were affected. So there are unpredictable situations can you may not predict it. So unpredictable situations occurs, and of course it requires a range of responses. So the international health regulations that was established in the year 2005, it provide a legal framework that defines a country's rights and obligations in handling public health events and emergencies that have the potential to cross borders. So, World Tourism Organization publishes regular informations on all this. A standard format has been developed for vaccination certificates so that the procedures in one country are recognized in other countries. Now coming to the insurance, it is very important. So provision of medical attentions to travelers is very important. Treatment in case of illness has to be paid according to the existing rates. In medical insurance companies generally used to cover such expenditures. Whenever suppose what is the importance of insurance? So that if you have to just pay the premium, and tomorrow when you are going to any country and you fall sick or something happens to you, then the company pays for you. So there is not a hole in your pocket. So, sometimes lack of medical insurance may be a hindrance in the movement of both the domestic and international travelers. Even, nowadays, every individual, they are having medical insurance, done by different companies, insurance companies, because medical has become very expensive. Okay. So while disease outbreaks and other public health risks are often unpredictable, as I said, there are the international health regulations. They provide a framework like how the country's citizens' rights and obligations can be handled in the health events, public health events, and emergencies. Okay. Now, law and order regulations. Because we all know that tourism is a very diverse activity, different sectors, there are different types of destinations. People are going for different reasons, different motivations, So, some are going for cultural reasons, some are going for, for their study too, some are going for vacation. So, lot of motivators are there, and different types of tourists are there, different types of problems occur. So the World Tourism Organization, they have started the Tourism Registration Information Service on its website. Now, its documentation center had collected, there are lots of laws and regulations governing the main areas of tourism activities in around 140 countries. Every country has their own rules and regulations. So whenever you visit a country, you have to go through the rules and regulations. I mean, it is important for you to know. But yes, the travel agent helps you, guides you in all these matters. So, in India, like suppose if you go to any beaches or Himalayas, nowadays we know that the police is there all over for the safety and security of its countrymen, but at the same time, you will find that there are tourist police officials. Earlier, we know police officials are there whenever you go. That's a normal, police officials. But now they have been assigned responsibility of serving the tourists who are visiting the destination. So they are being designated as tourist police officers. Okay, so this setup is there. In earlier it was not there, but slowly they only take care of the destinations. Like near monuments, like any tourist destinations, they are being assigned the responsibility of taking care of the tourist if anything happens. So that is what I mean. This new designation has been given to them. Now, law on cheating. Tourists often complain of cheating, especially while shopping. It's been, oh, this is a foreigner, let's charge him more. You'll find this type of cheating taking places, but at the same time, it spoils the image of a country. Tomorrow, suppose when you visit our country and you are being cheated, suppose for any Indian person, they are collecting an amount, and the amount that is being collected from you is higher to that amount. So obviously you feel cheated, and this spoils the image of the country. As I told you, tomorrow, this is always a word of mouth positivity. If you are happy, if you are satisfied, then you go and tell your peer groups, your friends, and family members. So that is, I think, tourists, they are often complain of cheating. Especially what happens, I'll tell you the truth. That is a very naked truth. This local communities, Suppose you go to visit a local destination, and the local community, the stakeholders over there, they always have that intention to cheat the foreigner, which is really, very, I mean, it's giving a very bad image for the country. So that should be, I mean, it's a hindrance to the image of the country. So that should be, that we should ensure that it doesn't happen. It does not occur all this type of activities. And of course, there are guides, who try to direct the tourists to shop where they get commission. You might be aware of, there are many government shops, all over the country, which is being run by the government of that particular country. Or at the same time, you'll also find private shops selling the same products, same tourist products, but they are always, when the tourists are always being advised, you should buy the products directly from the government shops, because the government shops, they have a very fixed rate, that does not change. That is applicable to everyone, same, every, whether you are an Indian or whether you are a foreign national, it is applicable uh, to each and every, tourist. But if you buy from the private shops, they will cheat you. That is what happens. So effective and prompt redressal of tourist grievances is provided by different countries to its traveller, though there is no tourist legislation. Suppose you were on in India for some studies, okay, for some research purposes. So if anything happens, you'll obviously first, whatever grievances you have, you'll always address to your embassy. They will take care of that. So this is what happens. There is a grievance cell. There is grievance cell in whichever destination, whether it's a hotel or whether it's a restaurant. They always give your feedback is very important, because whenever, if you, because if you think, no, we need to make some changes, we need to address the issues. So this is very important, how a country can succeed in its tourism activities. So if the tourists, there are different cells, tourist grievances cells, where they can put forward their grievances, and it is being taken care by the officials of that particular region. The properly constituted grievance cells is normally competent to handle such complaints of tourists. As I told you, there are people who are being assigned that job. They are usually under the Ministry of Tourism and all, who takes care of these grievances. Tourism professionals must be aware of such problems before planning tourism activities. As I told you, why do you want to make a booking at a hotel? So before making a booking at a hotel, you just go through the reviews. Why you go the reviews? Because you come to know, these are the issues, that may happen at that place. The hotel looks, very, I mean, the service is all good, but the location may not be that good. That is the reason nowadays, before going for any purchasing of any product, or going for a, holiday, or whatever, even if you wanted to buy a mobile, or you wanted to buy a laptop, or any small things, people do a lot of searching. The Google search, they do a lot, which shop will be providing them much cheaper prices, whether I buy it from a shop outside in a market, or I get it through Amazon or Flipkart. So this is what happens. People do a lot of, I mean, this awareness is there. This sensitization has now become very easy for every people, whether you are a tourist or whether you are a student. Because before, suppose, going for any studies abroad and all, you wanted to know what are the what are the facilities they are providing, whether hostel facilities are there, then what are the subjects they are providing, and after completion of the subject, where there is job facility and all. So this accessibility is there always, okay. And so similarly, whenever you plan any tourist activities, you should always ensure that you collect proper information. So, and of course, constituting a grievance cell should handle tourist complaints. Then a law of antiquities. There is Antiquities and Art Treasure Act 1972. Antiquities are categorized under following categories. There are sculptures, paintings, other work of art and craftsmanship. Okay, so these, when you go for any, go to any, if you want to buy any consumable goods, or if you want to buy any gifts, or you want to buy any mementos for your friends and all, you have to go to the visit the government shops, because in private shops a lot of malpractices occurs. So shopping malpractices, there are some regulations involved in that. You have to ensure that the standard is being met. Supply products sometimes not matched with the samples approved. So these has to be taken care of. So that is the reason why these regulations are being made. So legislation and regulations should be designed as to discourage such tendencies by indicating the severity of action for indulging in such malpractices. You know this quality because whenever you buy a product, the quality of the product, the standard of the product should be good. You know, it should be standardized. So these all has to be ensured. They go through different, there is like whenever before launching a product in the market, there is something called quality assurance, and all. So it has to go through the quality assurance. So similarly, when you buy a product, it has to be from the government shop, and you know if these products you are buying, they are of good standard, okay, quality standard. Accommodation, similarly, I was telling you about the different products, you know, while buying or any mementos or something for your friends. But similarly, accommodation, there are some regulations in the accommodation and catering regulations, mainly on the catering regulations. But before that, we should first come to the legislation for hospitality sector. So, right to acceptance or refuse lodging to a person or group is with the accommodation provider. Refusal is generally under three conditions: improper conduct or objectionable character, inability or refusal to pay, minors who behave in objectionable manner or cannot pay for service consumed. For example, if you wanted to book a hotel room, okay, that is good enough. Now you visit for the first time, fine. You visit for the second time, you did not make the payment. So those type of guests are known as skippers. You know who are skippers? Guests who stay in the hotel, but without making the hotel, without making the, I mean, they just check out from the hotel. They check out from the hotel without making the payment. So those type of guests are known as skippers. So next time you have to ensure that you know those type of guests doesn't check into the hotel. So they are known as blacklisted guests. So this is just a regulation. What happens? I just told you. I gave you just an example. So similarly, this is the legislation for the hospitality sector. You should refuse room to the blacklisted guests. And who are blacklisted guests? Blacklisted guests are skippers. And who are skippers? The skippers are basically who does not make payment. So you know it can be blacklisted guests, can be skippers who just check out of the hotel without making payment, or you know sometimes what happens, the guests also just behave rudely with the hotel staff, and so they blacklist those guests. So similarly, when we are talking about taxes and all, there are laws on income tax, service tax. Then we talk about excise duty, luxury duty. So hotels do also have this duty, luxury. They have luxury tax on the rooms. They have entertainment tax, as well as laws on employment matters. Like suppose tomorrow you are working in a hotel, so there are some act is all there, apprenticeship act, then ESI act. So these are all involved in the industry. Okay, because as I told you, the tourism is an industry. No? So tourism has different sectors. So suppose tomorrow you're working for a hotel, or you're working for a restaurant, or you're working for a travel agent. So you should know the rules, regulations. That is very important. Even if you become a tour guide, you should know the tour regulations and all. So that is what is very essential. Now, legislation for the hospitality sector, you should know the right to accept or refuse lodging, as I told you, whether you have to accept a booking, whether if it's a blacklisted guest, then you should not accept the booking. Then duty to protect the person and property of a guest. Whenever you check into a hotel, all your details are there. If you belong to Nigeria, you stay in a any city of Nigeria. Okay, so You did not your passport they won't check. They will just check your your ID card. That ID card can be your passport also, your driving license, but they have the registration card. That is basically known as a registration card, where all the informations are there being mentioned, like name of the guest, your date of birth, then when did you arrive at the hotel, when is your expected date of checkout, what will be your mode of payment. Yes, your passport detail is required, visa details is required only when you move out of Nigeria and go to visit another country. At that time, your passport details is required, your visa is required. But suppose if you are within the country, then your passport details are not required. Only your identification, that is your ID card, is required. Okay, so acceptance of valuables for safekeeping, that is very much. They should not fraud should not take places. Guest right to privacy, high standards of care has to be taken, and of course the hotel manager's role, because if you are satisfied whether it is a with the facility that is being provided, then you will just revisit that place. Okay, so that is what is registration for hospitality sector. Moving ahead, the catering regulations. But wait, one second. Hope you all are able to understand, or am I not going too fast? Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
it is
It's okay.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, just let me take 2 minutes break. I just wanted to see how many of you all are there. Kabiru is there. Yesterday I have,
Yes, ma'am.
written. Wait, one sec. I just wanted to know my learners. One wait, I'll just take my pen. I wanted to know my learners. They are from which country, so that I can. Yesterday I have written, but one sec. Kabiru is from Nigeria, right? I'm
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Okay.
Acha. Then Usman, you are from which place? Usman, you are from? I I cannot hear you.
From Nigeria.
Uganda, right? Okay. Then Basir, you are from? Sorry, you have to unmute. I cannot get you. Unmute yourself. I cannot get you. Acha, Hamza, you have to unmute. Hamza, are you there?
Yes, I'm them. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, Hamza is also from Nigeria. And what about Rahama? Rahama, are you there? Mm, Sagir, I think you are also from Nigeria, right? Sagir,
Usman.
you
Usman,
are
I am
from?
from Nigeria. Me too, I am from Nigeria.
Okay. Acha, Usman,
From
you are from
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
From
Okay,
Yes,
like
ma'am.
us, you're
Nigeria.
from Uganda. Okay, and Sagir, you are also from Nigeria. And Rahama, any idea? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, acha. Okay, fine. ठीक है. Just give me 2 minutes break. I just wanted to drink water and come back. Okay. I'll show you a video of Nigeria. I'll try to show. Just give me 2 minutes time. Huh?
Okay, ma'am. No, take your time.
Okay, ma.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. From Nigeria. Most of the students are from Nigeria. We take the majority.
Okay. So you all are ready?
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome back.
Yes. I'll just show you a video on. I have just downloaded that video. I wanted to show it to you. Maybe around after another hour. Okay. So before that, we'll try to cover it up. Okay. There's so much to know. There's so much to learn, but time is always a constraint. But anyway, we'll try to ensure that everything is covered. So, catering regulations, when you come to catering regulations, standardization in preparation and serving food is followed worldwide. Okay, so various legislations are there: consumer protection, quality control, and through pricing policy to comply with the demand, and vending and consumption of liquor, keeping the interest of stakeholders and the other social norms. And legislation also covers the hygiene of those who are employed in the cook and serve food items, equipment, and technology to retail professional standards. So there are different types of regulations. Are there, like one is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Like we have seen. Sometimes if you go for biryani and this is being very so colors and all. So these has to be sometimes the food is being adulterated. So you have to ensure that it is being prevented. So there is a Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, so that if the customers are being protected from intake of poisonous or harmful food. Then there is the air, which is known as the Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, to curb measures which lead to air pollution. You know, there are what happened whenever, suppose if you go to any destinations, you might have seen lot of videos and all. There are a lot of people will be taking consuming lot of foods, and the packets and all they will be throwing here and there, the polythenes and all. So this leads to pollution. So that has to be sensitized not only among the tourists but also among the local community, among the stakeholders. Nowadays, every other place you are going, you might have seen on newspapers, on the social media and all. It is very necessary to keep your area clean, because that is, unless and until you have to sustain, then unless and until you are able to sustain, then it will be very difficult for the any globe to exist. So that is what sustainability is very much required. So we should ensure that whether it's air pollution or whether it's a water pollution, that has to be prevented. Whether it's at the destinations or whether it's at the hotel, because the destinations are the one where people visit for amusement, for the pleasure, and they spoil the beauty or the nature of that particular area. They consume lot of food, they throw the packets here and there. So this, everyone has to be sensitized. So that is one thing which the government is also emphasizing on, focusing on. There are a lot of projects are being coming up. There are a lot of sensitization programs are there, and it has been started. We are trying to implement it from the college, no, sorry, from the schools, like from the small, kindergartens, primary schools, secondary schools, and colleges, because they are the one, they should be aware of it. They should not only be aware of it, but they should practice in daily life. So in today's, this air pollution, water pollution, this has to be controlled. Okay. So environmental protection and conservation, there are cultural resources, both natural and man-made, are vital and important for tourism. Whether it's a natural made or whether it's a man-made, it has to be protected, it has to be conserved. Preservation and maintenance is an in-depth study. It is not that you and me we know. It is that feeling has to be there, because if you want the tourism to grow, if you want the revenue has to be generated, then you have to ensure everybody should be sensitized how to protect the environment. That is what is very essential. Heritage conservation and maintenance is of importance. Now, you need to think. Okay, you need to think. Mm. Did you go through this? What it is mentioned? You have to give a thought. You have, you have to give a thought. This is a very important slide. You just go through it. So you have to give a thought the areas in tourism where these laws are applicable, the laws and regulations that is common to India and your country, the laws in your country that can be used by the tourists, laws in your country to protect the interest of the service providers, gaps and requirements. See, awareness is a very important, criteria. The reason behind it, we go to different destinations, whether it is a hotel or it is a restaurant, but there are a lot of signage boards. But people don't, take our time to read what is mentioned on the signage board. They are busy nowadays, especially the youngsters and all. You might have seen they are busy taking photos and all, selfies and all. But the signage boards are there at the destinations, but they just pay a heed to. So it is very important that you should know what are the laws that is existing in your country and which are utilized for the tourists. See, there are different types of laws. I am not telling you to study laws about other areas, but you should know what are the laws in your country that are applicable or should be used by the tourists. Okay, and what are the laws that should be used to safeguard the interest of the service providers. So, what is the lacuna is there? You should find out. Then, in brief, what we covered so far in this unit 6 is the areas in tourism where laws are applicable, various regulations regarding travelers and their requirements, the laws to protect the interest of the service providers, as well as environment protection and conservation. Now, it is a very important thing. We have come to a chapter, this unit, which is about statistics and measurements. Statistics is very important. How should I know how many Nigerians are coming to India? How should I know how many Indians are going to Nigeria? That is only through tourism statistics. There is the Ministry of Tourism which takes care of all these issues. Okay, so tourism statistics are gathered and published by every country today, whether it's your country, whether it's Nigeria, or whether it's Botswana, or whether it is Uganda. You name the country and it is there. The World Tourism Organization further collects it from all countries to make a global projection. Yesterday, as you told, I think Kuber, you told me, Kabiru told me, hey madam, is a WTO at our country? See, every country has their own tourist offices, okay? Tourist organization, ministry, like is their government official which takes care of the tourism sectors and all. But what does the WTO does? The WTO collects all the information related to tourism from all the countries and then it makes a global projection. So if you go to WTO's United Nations World Tourism Organization site, you will get all the informations. How many Nigerians are visiting to India, how many Indians are going to India, how many Nigerians are there for on study tour, how many are for the vacation, you will get all the information because we are working on that particular sector. The statistics is a very useful tool for measurement of any quantitative phenomenon. For example, average number of guests arriving at a hotel in a year. The statistics cannot be used for the measurement of qualitative phenomena like the color of a person or the taste of oil. Okay, but yes, it is only for the number of visitors, how many regions they have visited. This you can find. What is the age group, male or female? They are from which country. This is you can find it from through the analysis of statistics. So, as tourism we all know is primarily an economic activity, tourism statistics is viewed from demand supply perspective. This is very, I told you yesterday also, and on the very first day I told you these are two important components of yield management. Okay, demand and supply. I understand there's a lot of demand for these countries or for these people, who wanted to study here. So accordingly, they wanted to come to these destinations. Accordingly, the infrastructure will be built. Suppose today you go to a destination and you find, that is still, doesn't have proper infrastructure. But lot of visitors are there, lot of tourists are there. So you have the statistics in a day, 2000 tourists are coming. Suppose whenever we have any particular phase or exhibitions in a particular phase, not exhibitions, particular phase in our different cities of the country. So during the phase, sometimes in a day, around 14 lakhs people visit that place. Can you imagine 14 lakhs people visiting a destination on a particular day because of that particular festival? But we'll find they are unable to accommodate. Then maybe the next year they'll find we should have this type of infrastructures. More transport has to be there, roads have to be built, more hotels has to come on, more communication, proper communication has to be there. Obviously people has to be trained, capacity building, they have to be trained to provide the services, facilitate the services. So this is how we come through the statistics. We get a projection, and depending on the projection we build the infrastructure or whatever is required at the destination. So tourism is basically primarily seen as a demand side phenomenon, and demand can be measured by taking into account it is the money, it is the time, it is the space. People, it includes all visitors and tourists. Money, it includes the expenditure incurred by the tourist. Time, it includes the travel duration and period of stay. Space, it includes the distance and the length of trips. Yes, that is also there. How many visitors are coming, for how many, what is the duration of stay. Suppose when you are an official visit, your official visit may not last more than 3 to 4 days. Official visit will be on the weekdays. You won't go to Saturday, Sunday to any business class hotel for official visit. You will go to any resort hotel during the weekend because the resorts hotels are usually located at scenic beauty. It can be mountains, it can be beaches, So people go there for during the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So this is the length of the stay. If it's a weekend, a weekend, the length of the stay will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if it's an official purpose, that will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and these are the hotels. So hotels are also we will come to we will maybe tomorrow we'll come on that aspect or about the hotels. I'm just giving an example today. Now these are the statistical measures. I know that all of you are aware of this. What are averages, quartiles, and fractiles, variances and deviations, then multipliers, coefficients, rates, and ratios. Okay. Now, why there's a need for tourism statistics? Why there's a need for tourism statistics? Okay. It's very essential because it provides a proper perspective of the tourism sector, planning for future development of tourism, and specific objects of having tourism statistics are to guide policy developments. There are tourism policies are being prepared. They are being and then they are being implemented. So unless and until you have the proper statistic, you cannot have the tourism policies being drafted. Once the tourism policy is being drafted, then it is being it goes through different boards for approval. Once it is being sanctioned and you get the approval, then such a tourism policy comes into effect from this date and this date, and then it is being implemented. So this tourism statistics is very important because it helps to guide the policy development. It provides an objective basis for the development planning. It provides quantitative information for evolving marketing strategies as well as facilitate investment decisions. Right? One second. Hmm. So, uh is it visible? I mean,
Yes, it is
okay,
visible.
okay, okay.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
These are the specific objectives of having tourism statistics to guide policy developments, to provide an objective basis for development planning, and provide quantitative information for evolving marketing strategies and facilitate investment decisions. Okay, so you should understand the perspective. There should be basic requirements of volume is tourist visits or tourist arrivals. You know, how you are able to know how many tourist arrivals at a particular country. So then after you find out how many tourists, so that is there is something called C form. C form is basically meant for the foreigners. So whenever a person visits a hotel and from coming from a different country and stays at a hotel, then he needs to fill up the C form. So we come to know that this city has this type of I mean tourists coming from different countries had stayed in our hotel for this period of time. So this C form is very essential, and this is mainly meant for the foreigners. And the C form first copy, it goes to the police department. Okay, and we have, and one copy is being written with the hotel. So this helps us to find out what is the volume of tourists that is visiting that particular destination. Second, main volume statistic is the average length of stay. As I told you, if you are a student coming to a country, your average stay, if you are coming to study degree for about you are coming to take a you are coming for a study, so it's a degree course. The duration is 3 years, so your duration will be given 3 years duration. So when it's a student, the student is coming for degree program, so it can be a 3 years. For master degree it's 2 years, and for research visa, as I told you, student visa research, it may be the 5 years. After 5 years you have to again get your visa updated, and you have to extend your duration of stay, so that you have to again get the proper channel, you have to go through the proper process and all. So the value of tourism to an economy is mainly reflected in the tourist expenditure at the destination or the tourism receipts. The average expenditure per tourist is obtained by dividing the total tourist expenditure by the number of arrivals. These are statistics. Okay. Now, developing and planning. Tourist demand is an actual demand and potential demand. Now, what is the difference? What do you mean by potential? Potential means, suppose the hotel is having 100 rooms. Okay, the hotel can sell all the rooms, so that is the potential. The hotel can sell the 100 rooms, but is he able to sell all the rooms in a day? No, he is not able to. He is able to sell only 60 rooms in a day. So that is the actual demand. So the actual demand, the demand which has already fructified into tourist visits, is the actual demand, and the potential demand is the demand which is yet to be fructified, is potential demand. So planning of tourism projects in specific locations depends mainly on the capacity to absorb tourism. So as I told you, there are a lot of projects have been done. Different governments have taken different projects. So looking at the statistics, we wanted to find how to whether that particular location can be can be become a tourist spot. Whether what is the potential, what is the actual. So this on, and of course the second thing is, you have to ensure whether they can absorb the tourism. If you are unable to accommodate that much of guests, then it would be very difficult. If you are having 100 rooms and 110 guests, would you be able to accommodate 110 guests? You won't be able to accommodate 100. Your potential is 100. So these are the few things where you need to develop and plan. As I told you, whenever there is any exhibitions or fairs or any festivals, these has to be developed, well developed in advance, and then it has to be planned accordingly. Then comes evolving marketing strategies. Evolving marketing strategies. So, the global trends on international tourism are usually obtained from the publications of agencies like UNWTO. Now, it's a request to all of you, to all my dear students, you should visit the site UNWTO. You'll get a lot of information. For me, I just give you the path. After that, you have to explore the path. That is what is very much necessary. I'll just show you the track. I can just give you these are the important informations where you can get lot of channels, but you have to do a lot of exploring if you really wanted to know about particular destination, particular right. So you can always visit the yesterday I showed you. No, I mean no issue. You can just go to the Google search and you just type United Nations World Tourism Organization. You'll get all the information. So statistic variables usually analyzed in this regard are demographic variables such as age, gender, and told age, gender, education, occupation, place of residence, personal habits, travel habits, nationality. If I think yes, the very first day I had some questions for you, and my question was, African maximum age, which group? So they are the youngsters. The maximum population is of the youngsters only. So this is how it is being. How do we come to this? This why the population is more of youngsters, because through statistics only, that is the age. If you say, in some countries the gender, there are less ladies and maximum gen. So these, through the statistics we are able to know. There are many developing. How do you come to know which are developing countries, which are developed countries, which are developing countries, which are underdeveloped? These are all through tourism statistics. And this is also, you have to find out the marketing strategies also, how to target the group. Now I cannot suppose, whenever sometimes you have to project your destination, you have to sell your destination, that is selling the product. So if I sell a product to if I wanted to sell a destination, there is something called timeshare, hotels I wanted to sell. I won't go to a student and say, "Can you visit this place?" I will go to some corporate person, who loves traveling and who works for a good company and able to afford. So that is, you should know your target groups. So similarly, that is how marketing strategies is being evolved. Then there are some methods of measurement. Different kinds of surveys are there, studies are there. Surveys or studies at destination. So counting by controlling the visitors at tourist sites. Then surveys of visitors at tourist sites. Then census and registration of accommodation units. Survey of tourism production units. Then survey at the point of travels, the counting by administrative controls at the entry point, how many immigrants are there, how many immigration, what is immigration, and also you have to know all this. Survey of passengers at the entry point, survey of passengers at some point along their journey. So this is very important. Tourism is a vast phenomenon. You have to do a lot of studies. So anyway, but these are the you can say these are the focal points where you can just important whatever I could get. Important focal points. You can say I have tried to through my PPT I wanted to share with you. Survey at usual place of residence, household service of residence in the country, service of companies, public administration units and institutions, service of tourism industries like travel agents, tour operators, air taxi operators, tourist transport operators. These are all be required. Okay, these are all the, and whenever you say what are the methods of measurements, it is always through a questionnaire, it is through a survey. Now suppose there is a question, for example, you all are my excuse me, you all are my learners and I wanted to know about the satisfaction level. So it is through questionnaire, because you are just few of your, so I can just through the questionnaire I can find out. You have to evaluate how was my presentation. But suppose if there's a huge population, I cannot go and talk to each and every. So you have to do a survey on that particular area. Ki, are you happy at the destination? Very. So there are different. These are tools of research basically, whether it's a survey or whether it's a questionnaire based and all, right? Then suppose there's also a ground level research methodology. Ground level means you just do the research in a particular area where people are residing. Okay. Then problems of measurement. Now, problem is more severe in respect of measuring domestic tourism. As tourism industry is not well, the tourism industry, it's something new is coming, so it cannot be well defined. It is not, it's not that you are within the four walls. There are a lot of constraints also. So measurement of economic impact of tourism is difficult. Okay. So estimation of foreign exchange earnings worked out by the Department of Tourism and Reserve Bank of India. As I told you, suppose you are a guest at the hotel, then you exchange your currency, then the currency is being sent to the Reserve Bank of India. So these are the departments which work on this foreign exchange. So in our country, it is Reserve Bank of India. Per capita, because they usually are concerned with the economic structure of the country. Okay. So per capita expenditure of a foreign tourist is multiplied with number of tourist arrivals in a year for calculating the quick estimate. One second. Yeah, one sec. Then the tourism statistics in India, we have these are the very important, on what basis the tourism statistics in India is being designed. International tourist arrivals, duration of stay, Indians going abroad, domestic tourist statistics, and the foreign tourist service. Now, this is I think this is a modes of transport. Uh, I'll just go through the modes of transport little bit. Tomorrow we can start again with the modes of transport. Okay. So, development of tourism at any destination depends upon transportation, obviously. Tourist always requires a safe transport, a comfortable and convenient mode of transport. Earlier, only people used to travel by ships, they used to go to different countries for their trade, for their business. But later on, the
Hi guys, my name is Bashir. So advisably, guys, we first create a group that we keep helping each other for easy understanding the topic being discussed in this Mr. Role.
yes, Basit, tell
Tomorrow,
me. Yes, yes, tell me.
okay,
1 minute, one sec, 1 sec.
okay, okay. No, I'm
Huh.
not attacking to you.
Huh. You wanted to say anything, Basit? Is it, if it is visible, no?
No.
It's not visible. Oh.
Ah,
No.
it is not
Uh-huh.
visible.
Now,
Yes. Yes, it is on.
It's okay, na?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So at the same time, tourists need cost-effective and less time-consuming means of transport. Okay. Sometimes I wanted to show, like, I want to tell you, like yesterday also, I told you, like, we have this palace on wheels, that is usually it attract foreign tourists. Palace on wheels is a train which covers the three destinations. You can see the golden triangle of Agra, Rajasthan. It covers Delhi, it covers Rajasthan, it covers Agra, that is a Taj Mahal. Then it comes to Delhi, the capital city of India. Then it goes to Rajasthan also. So these are the three areas which is being covered, and it is known as Palace on Wheels. It is like it's like a hotel. The train is being designed in a hotel, and you have around 1 week duration of travel is for 1 week. And usually foreigners are the ones who travel because it's very expensive at okay. So you have there are Rajasthan is full of palaces and all. So you have a feel you get to see, you have a feeling, everything, like traveling through all those areas and all by train. So that's a very beautiful thing. Okay, similarly, there is also, I saw a video which was on desert on wheels. Desert on wheels is also in an African country. It is another, foreigners are visiting there. The track line is the train line is within the desert. So these feelings, these are very expensive. Now, it is not for everyone who can afford to go, but yes, we have to see everything, whether it is whether it's for a rich person, for an elite class of people, or whether it is for a middle class of people, or whether it's, we don't want to, underprivileged or something, you can say. Uh, so that is, everybody wants to enjoy the beauty of the country, of the nature, the globe, different destinations and all. So it is not everybody's within everybody's reach, but yes, we know that people are ready to pay for that. They are affluent people, there are elite people. So depending on that, depending on their requirement level, the facilities are being facilitated. Services and facilities are being facilitated to the tourists, travelers, or consumers or guests, whatever you see. Okay, that is one. So none can deny the role of transport in developing tourism at any destination globally. I'll also try within my reach somebody who is very the minister, who somebody who is the minister of a country, a very influential person. He wanted to go, reach a destination within 2 hours, and if he thinks that if he'll take Air India flights or he'll take an American Airlines, it will take him time, because you don't find every other moment. The flights would be there will be duration of flight. I mean, that would be around after every 6 or 7 hours. So he has his own chartered flight. So he has his own chartered flight. He'll go by chartered flight, but depending on the, as I told you, everybody, the tourism sector wants to grow, and everybody loves traveling, everybody wants to enjoy, so the beauty of the country, depending on the statistics and everything, tourism policy has been prepared. There's a network of people who are working on these issues. So we always can, as a we cannot deny the role of transport in developing tourism at any destination. We are always, it is on always on the verge of development. Something new is coming every other day. Now, this is the development means of transport, pre-colonial period, colonial period, and post-independent era. So, there are rural areas, there are urban areas. Rural areas are the ones, the villages and all. Urban areas are the urban areas are the one which you can say the cities and towns and all. Okay, so these are the areas, during the pre-colonial period. These marketplaces were not well connected and towns were not well planned. But however, there was a Grand Trunk Road which was laid by during Sher Shah Suri. Okay, so then the colonial period, that was the network of road transport was built up during colonial rule in India. Raw material and finished products were moved with help of such roads. Railways also emerged, and air services also started. After the post-independence day, there was transportation was there. Growth took place. The model of transportation was also developed, and there was a lot of changes were there. So as I told you, like in my last class, we had this. Silk Road, we had this Grand Tour. Grand Tour was usually by the elite class of people. It was by the Europeans. They went to different countries for their studies, for visiting different destinations and all. So slowly, everything is eventually growing, developing, and we are always on the verge to make everything better. Okay, that is what we are looking. I'll just want to show you a video. Just wait for that is about the transport and whatever the destinations and all. uh, but let me just finish up another 2 3 slides, then I'll come. Okay, now we have the main modes of transport. We know, either by buses, by cars. These are the modes of transport: by bus, by cars, by cruise lines, by airlines, by trains and all. So however, road transport is there. Then we have the rail transport, we have the sea transport. Road transport is very important for short and medium distance for travel. So flexibility, reliability, speed, and door-to-door service is possible only by road transport. Then in a country, there are different highways are there. National highways which connect one capital of the state to another capital. Then there are the state highways which connect the state with the district headquarters. Then there are district roads which connect, within a state there are many districts. So those district roads, they connect to all the districts of that particular state. Then there are village roads which connect villages and act as basic infrastructure in rural areas. Unclassified village roads, these earthen roads, I mean, like muddy roads. Earthen roads are like muddy roads, and they are normally tracks in rural areas. So there are different types of roads. Now you just see, this is, I have just given a this is a survey that has been done. That's of course in India. I just want to tell you, the in the year 1951, the road length in India was 4 lakhs kilometer in 1951. Today we are in 2023. Okay, so this study was done in 2022. The total road length in India is now 63.73 lakhs kilometers. So you can understand the importance and potential of road transportation in India. Got it? Similarly, there are many countries, where the road really, when we think about 50 years ago, only it was a very limited to area, but now it's vast, vast everything. Our needs are growing, our wants are there, demand is there. Maybe sometimes we are not able to supply. So this is, I just gave you a, this is a survey was done, and this is survey. This is a study that we got to know. This is still 2022. So in 1951, it was 4 lakhs kilometer. That is in 2022, the study shows that 63.73 lakhs. So it has increased to around 60 lakhs. Okay. Now rail transports. Indian railway tracks covers around 68,000 kilometers at present study, okay, and is one of the largest network in the world. It carries about 18 million passengers on average every day. So just to assume, people are traveling for business, people are traveling for pleasure, people are traveling for studies, I mean for education, to attend some fairs, exhibitions. So how much, it is one of the largest network in the world, Indian Railways. Okay, in domestic tourists, especially the domestic tourists primarily depends upon railways for long distance and cost effective and comfortable travel in less time span. Now, if I want to go to Mauritius, obviously I cannot go by a train. I have to go by flight. I'll from here to from the place where I stay is Bhubaneswar, from Bhubaneswar to Mumbai, then Mumbai to Mauritius. Okay, this is how. Now, I from I'm in a city which is a capital city. It does not have a direct flight to Mauritius. But yes, if you are in major cities of the country, then you may have a direct flight to Mauritius. So this is how mostly the domestic tourists. But if I wanted to visit any city or towns in the country of India, then I can always travel by train. Buses may not be available, but train is always there. So yes, I just told you about this one. Special tourists trains like Palace on Wheels are operated for attracting foreign tourists. Example, Desert on Wheels. Then circular journey tickets are available for travelers. Suppose if you visit Europe, there is Eurorail. So you just buy a ticket and you can travel with that Eurorail to any parts of European countries. And I mean anything. You can travel in that Eurorail. In India, we have very popular trains. They are known as Rajdhani. Rajdhani is basically, in Rajdhani means is the capital city. So this Rajdhani trains always goes from one capital city to another capital city. So that is the reason how the name was evolved. Rajdhani, then Shatabdi, Duronto. So I'm just naming few trains. Okay. Then this is possible through the computerized reservation system, which helps in planning the journey earlier. Now you all might have, CRS is basically computerized reservation system where you make, with the help of computers, you make the reservation system and all. But there is something also GDS, Global Distribution System. Tonight I can just, you can just have do some exploration if you are not aware. You go to, there are some online travel agents, online travel agents like, yatra.com, then you have expedia.com. These all you just go through it and you try to explore. Okay, why I told you to explore? Because once you go to this site, you can book tickets, you can book flight tickets, you can book train tickets, you can book hotels. Then you will have an idea, how everything operates. So they also work on a system which is known as global distribution system. So I'm not going much into details, but we should be just knowing that there's something called global distribution system which work on this. Anyone sitting at home can, I can just sitting out at home, I can just make a booking at how to reach Nigeria, okay, country. Then maybe I'll go to a different city in Nigeria, okay. First I reach there. So with that GDS, Global Distribution System, there are some softwares are there, like you have WorldSpan, then you have Galileo, which works on the system, for example. So once you just do an exploration, you will come to know. And I tell you, like, you should always see this tourism sites. Yesterday I told you IATA, then PATA, then UNWTO. You should visit all these sites, then you will have an idea. If you visit UNWTO, you'll have lot of ideas. You will come to know about, as I told you, they take all the informations of the different countries and then they do the projection. Okay, so once I have just tried to put what are the basic requirements, needs, I have shown you. But for me, I was not able to go into details much. But of course, I am trying my best. Okay, so I think this is we will, from tomorrow we will just share. I'll just start from this one and move to the next. The other slides. Okay, so but before that, I wanted to show you a video. I hope I can just show it to you. There is always some issues, then you can come up with your queries, right? Okay, let me try. Okay, one second. ଗୋଟେ ଭିଡ଼ିଓଟା ଅଛି, ଭିଡ଼ିଓଟା Able to see?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is about Nigeria. Let's enjoy this, okay? You come to know. And of course, you will tell me after that, okay? Can you hear the music or just the video is
There
going?
is no music.
Acha, music is that is the problem. Okay, I understand. Okay, okay.
Okay.
This is artifacts, okay? Usman, you just mute it. Huh. So, yes. Did you enjoy? I mean, background music was there, but I believe you were not able to hear the background music. But yes, there were hills, mountains, beaches, then your plateaus, then cathedrals, then mosque, then natural beauty, lot. So I really, I didn't know that. So, but I feel like going. So beautiful place. So you should be proud of that you belong to such a wonderful destination, and you should come up with some new ideas how to flourish it, how to develop it, studying, getting informations, as I told you, different websites, you go through it. You need to do a lot of exploration, and I believe everybody, like you all are very young, and you all might be having some objectives in life, and it will help you to you succeed. So yes, now the floor is open to you. Whatever I could do initially, there was some clinches, but I think after that it went well. Yes, tell me, Abiru. Yes, Usman, you also belong to Nigeria, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not
Okay.
Nigerian.
Okay.
No, I belong to
Yeah,
Nigeria.
All are you from Nigeria? Lot of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tell
yes,
me.
ma'am. I have seen a lot of places that are good and beautiful scenery.
Hmm.
Also,
Hmm.
they are really attractive places. There are some that I have been there before, but
Hmm.
some I did not even try to go there.
Okay. Okay.
And
So.
there are some I can say they haven't I can say mentioned some vital places as well
Hmm.
that are beautiful also in Nigeria.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, the problem here is that those places that we have just seen
Hmm.
are really not that kind of, I can say, beautiful for now because,
Hmm.
we have some problems that are
Hmm.
hindering the improvement of tourism in Nigeria.
Hmm.
So, some places are already abandoned, and also they are deserted, they are overcrowded, or something
You
like that.
overcrowded. Hmm.
Yeah, of course, so places are looking somehow for now.
Hmm.
And also, we are having some issues in Nigeria that hinder people, I can say, those that are interested in just tourism to
Hmm.
be just visiting the country.
Hmm.
Uh, because, Nigeria is now battling with, I can say, the insecurity challenge.
Okay.
And also, there is a lack of proper management of the locations
Hmm.
and lack of adequate, I mean, the healthcare facilities, which is
Okay.
also
Healthcare
hindering
facilities.
foreigners coming to
Hmm.
Nigeria.
Hmm. What happened? Yes, tell me how.
And also, we have lack of infrastructure as tourist sites. In the
Okay.
tourist side, we lack infrastructure.
Okay, okay, understood.
So, and the last thing I have with me is bad image and perception of Nigeria by foreigners. The perception of Nigeria abroad is very sad one. It's very sad one. Yeah, of course. Many see Nigeria as a nation of fraudsters and criminals. So
Okay,
indeed,
okay.
there are many Nigerians who engage in fraudulent activities abroad.
Right.
But this true of all nations of the world. In fact, many countries with fast developing tourism industries have higher crime rather than Nigeria.
Hmm.
So they have control in their own media. That's the difference. In Nigeria, we don't have that kind of control in our media. Everything will be published
Okay,
or something like that.
okay, okay.
So that's the
Right.
reason our, I can say, tourism sector is facing some challenges and hindering the foreigners to be here for their tourist or and say for their trip. So I think there are some places as well that
Hmm.
are very let's say attractive
Hmm.
and also good for visit for the foreigners and also as well the I can say the people living in the country. So I don't know if one of us here have something to say about some places or something like that. Because in Abuja, that means the capital city of the country,
Hmm.
we have Millennium Park. It's a
Acha,
park
Millennium
that
Park, huh?
is, of course, Millennium Park.
Hmm.
And also in my neighboring state, Bauchi State,
Mm-hmm.
there is the Yankari Game Reserve and Resort. It's
Hmm.
also a good place to visit because I have been there 2 years back.
Okay.
And also we have Ibeno Beach, which
Hmm.
is in Akwa Ibom State, which is located in the southern part of Nigeria.
Okay.
So, Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa and has become an untapped tourist paradise with long stretches of exotic beaches, lush mountains, and many.
Okay.
So, due
Okay.
to the lack of management, we are
Lack
facing
of
some like,
management.
yeah,
Okay.
lack of management. That's the problem with the
Hmm.
tourist destinations. So, that's all I can say about it. But I have some questions that I would like to ask.
Raise. Yes, yes. And Kabiru, what you said, that was really very nice because, as you mentioned, it is the most populous country, in Africa. But there are a lot
Yes,
of issues, especially like, we see something, but maybe infrastructure is not there, or maybe
of course.
sometimes the places are overcrowded and all. So that was a good I mean feedback you also give, because something. And you also told, because of the media also, there were a lot of, like we come to know through newspapers, televisions, and social medias and all, what's happening. But since you are an inhabitant of that place, your obviously that was what you have said. We really, I mean very impressive, Okay, yes, now you can tell me about the questions you have in your mind.
Okay, ma'am.
Huh.
Uh, you made
uh,
mention of Mahal building.
you have.
Taj Mahal
Oh,
building.
Taj Mahal. Okay, okay.
I
Mm,
am. I come across many times. I just heard of that name, and I
uh-huh.
have browsed for which kind of building is that. And even
Okay.
yesterday, I watched a video. Someone just talking about the Taj Mahal and
Mm-hmm.
the reason why the building was built.
Mm,
And I wonder.
mm.
The guy said that the building was built just to engrave a wife of some. I don't
Shah
know
Jahan.
if
Shah Jahan.
yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know
Mumtaz.
if you
Huh.
guys.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's very nice. And it
of
is
course.
one of the seven wonders of the world. So
Okay,
it is one of the wonders of the world. Yes, one of the seven wonders of the world, Taj Mahal. And it was, I'll tell you the story. May not be tomorrow with some. I'll get some more pictures and video. So you have a
okay,
clear. It was built by Shah Jahan, because of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. And as I told you, this palace on wheels, that also goes via Taj Mahal and all. And it is in Rajasthan. It is a place in Agra, and it also have a fort also. And it's a very mesmerizing. Once you reach that place, you come to know ki what is. It was like they're Muslim. It was he was a I mean, lot of festivals are there. You can see, during the moonlight, the color changes. It's such a beautiful. It has a river, and but of course, there were a lot of factories. As you told, you have heard of Taj Mahal. It's very beautiful. Just recently, a year ago, I had visited. Not even a year ago, few months ago, you can say I had been there. And because of the river beside it, and lot of, the Taj Mahal is located in a place called Agra, and there are a lot of factories are there. Lot of factories are there, inhabitants are there. So all those factories, the pollution that is coming, as I told you, we need to preserve the, whether it's a monument or it's a heritage building, since that factories are many there, all this smoke and all, they destroyed that beauty of that, because it is built by marbles, different types of marbles are there. So the archaeological survey of India is doing a lot to protect it. But yes, I mean, we have lot of foreigners coming there, lot of tourists. That's the one of the main attraction of a country. As I told you, it is one of the seven wonders of the world. And once you reach Delhi, that is the capital city of a country, it's just a 3 hours drive. and the river which is beside that Taj Mahal is Yamuna. Okay, and now we have a road. As I was talking about this road transport, so many. I told you, earlier there was just a simple road, but now there is a Yamuna Express. Earlier it used to take by road some 5-6 hours, but now we have that Yamuna Express highway, which just takes hardly, I mean, you can say 3 hours. I mean, beautiful road. So, that is what you said, and I very patiently heard what you said about Nigeria. They're overpopulated, and it has such a rich culture. That the beauty and natural beauty. So the thing is that we, as an individual, it's not like I am a tourist, or we should be very sensitized about this. No, our country is making a lot of effort. Even a prime minister has come up with lot of programs, especially for which is being implemented in the schools, in the colleges. Even we are doing that so that we can keep our area clean. Once we know how to keep our area clean, obviously we will know how to keep the tourist destinations, the beaches, the tourist destinations, how that has to be protected and preserved. So
Yes. So
uh,
I will look forward to hear a lot from you about
uh-huh.
the places. And also, I
Yes,
have
yes.
a next question. I have next
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
Is it possible for a tourist professional to be
Uh,
a tourist guide in different countries?
Yes, yes, that is possible. I mean, you can become a tourist guide. You want to see, like the thing is that there are different courses also available. Okay, now this is what you learned about tourism. Okay, now to become a tourist guide, you need some,
Let
licenses and all. License, I mean, to suppose
okay, license.
license, as you told, first maybe you can especially you can be associated with the travel agents, because once you become associated with the travel agents, then it helps you to become a tour guide and all. Because suppose there are a lot of groups which are visiting our country, foreign groups, foreign international tourists, they usually come in a group, so they come through via this travel agents. Now suppose I don't know Nigerian language, in the language you spoke, but suppose a group from Nigeria comes and I wanted to show him the Taj Mahal, then I have to say in their language, Okay, so you can suppose if you want to work for a different countries, so language of that particular country, knowing that particular language is also very essential. But first and foremost thing is you should know about the destination. There are some rules, guidelines. You have to have a license if you want to go for a if you want to work for a better organization. So what you do, you just go through different travel agents, as I gave you some example like Cox and Kings, these are some travel agents. Then you have Sita Worldwide Travel Agents. Okay, so once you go to their website, you will find lot of dashboards and all. So you can find, what are the job offers, what are their requirements, what are their requisites. Then you would be able to know what is actually essential to become a tour guide. In simple
Yes.
language, I can say you how you should know about the place, you should know few languages, but of course there are some other rules, regulation, guidelines that would help you. As you
Well,
know,
I get it.
uh, uh, you know,
So,
uh, hmm,
like yesterday, I started to discuss with a friend of mine that
hmm,
is working in a travel agency.
hmm.
I asked him if it is possible for me to be part of their organization so that I will learn a lot from them. Do you think it will help my career in tourism and something like that?
Yes, surely. There's a, this is a broad area. See, yesterday I was telling you, like, different websites are there where, it is a group. See, now today I am just teaching you the hotel manage. I mean, your tourism students, okay? But
Yes.
you will find a group, LinkedIn group and all. There are all these associations where you will find students like you, where you will find faculties like me, where you will find managers of hotels, where you will find managers of different travel agents, and people from different area but related to travel and tourism. So they have a group, so once you mingle with those group, because they also meet on this, technology has helped us that we have a discussion on this open platform, on this Google Meet or Zoom and all. They have a you be a part of those, you subscribe those newsletters, then you become a, a member of those associations, then you come to know. Today I'm teaching you, I came to know, I just learned from the newspapers, from the magazines, from the social media, from the televisions about your country. But today I
Okay.
heard it from your mouth. So that what defines, that what differentiates. So you become a member of those groups. That would help you. That would help to explore you, find out what exactly your needs, and would help to channelize.
Yeah, I get it, ma'am. I get it, ma'am. So I'm looking forward to the just learning from you a lot.
Yes, yes.
The other just here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know if one of us here has something to say because my battery is going down. I
Yes,
don't
yes.
know if I can.
Oh,
I don't
understood,
know
understood.
if I
Okay.
can see the end of the session. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the end of the session as well.
Yeah,
And I do.
so mm,
I think tomorrow you can give us a lot of time so that we can discuss about the country and you can just advise us on some
yes, yes.
areas.
Okay, surely. So tomorrow
Uh,
we'll come up with some other areas. Today I just, I thought its time is already, it's already like, what is the time in your country right now?
yeah, right now it is 12:48
Oh,
p.m.
12:48.
p.m.
Okay, huh. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. So so we are like 5 hours,
yeah, of
ahead of
course.
you,
But 5 hours
right?
interval.
Uh-huh. So, that is so anyway, I also enjoyed interacting with you. So tomorrow
Thank you, ma'am.
there are more. I will share the slide with you all. Okay, and whatever queries. In fact, today I also had a, like some concept review questions I prepared. Like yesterday what we discussed so far, last 2 days. So some questions you should emphasize what is a grand tour and all, so silk route and all those I had mentioned. So tomorrow we can just
Of
come up.
course.
Sir, was it okay? Anything you
Yes, yes,
wanted to do?
madam. Actually, I have a small request.
Uh-huh.
Whatever PowerPoint presentations you have made in this presentation,
Right, sir.
please send those PPTs so that I will share the PPTs with the students
Yes.
and upload the PPT in the LMS portal so that everybody can download and see what are the
Hmm.
important PPTs which are available over there.
Okay, sir, I will send you all the PPTs. But second thing is that uploading on the LMS, that is a little bit, I'm still new at, so I may not be. But of course, I also need to explore on that.
Yeah, we will do.
Uh,
We will do. You just
okay.
send me. We will
Huh.
do whatever is
Okay. Okay.
required. We will do that.
Okay, so tonight I'll send you the last 3 classes what I have taken. So tomorrow will be another new day with more another units and all.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
thank you very much for today. Tomorrow we all are again, getting assembled here in the same platform. Uh, so till such time, we take leave of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam.
thank you, sir. My privilege always. Thanks, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I wish everyone a good day. Okay, and please come up with your queries. You can just write.